Good morning and welcome on board. I'm Hervé Pivoteau, Product Manager for XS Catamarans, and I welcome you on board the brand new XS14. This boat comes to complete the range. We have today the 11, the 12 and the 15, and this brand new model, the XS14. At XS, we make the bet that we can offer a cruising catamaran that is also a sailboat. We can offer the comfort and the experience of a fantastic anchoring areas, a flat boat with lots of comfort, but also sailing sensations while cruising. This is why our clients are typically coming from the monohull world. We are going to discover it together right now. Welcome on board. Giving more sensations without removing comfort is a real challenge. Our architects, VPLP Design, they made a really big effort and real progress in all those aspects of architecture to improve the sensations. They use the tools that they normally use for racing boats, and they use them to try and not to improve the performance, but really the sensations while sailing. Some of these innovations are really visible, some others are not at all. The most visible are the rig with the mast step forward of the coach roof. This allows to reduce the need for structure, reduce the weight of the structure and increase the sail area, so it's of course very, very beneficial. For the less visible, the hull shape is asymmetrical, giving more performance and reducing the slamming effect underneath the platform. The bows are out of the water for better driving. Some effort was made also on the appendages with deeper fins, thinner fins and deeper rudders. This all of course increase also sailing sensations, and you can really feel that while sailing the boat on the water. On top of all the architectural innovations that we made on the XS14, we also made lots of questioning and innovation in all the parts of the boat. It was really a philosophy during the whole design process to find smart solutions to offer more to the client without adding things on board, without adding weight and useless complexity. This philosophy, we called it less is more. A good example of this philosophy is the helm station. At this helm station, which is typically XS, you are part of the cockpit, part of the crew, at the aft of the hull, with perfect view to the sea, and you can hear your boat sailing, you can see your sail, so you are really enjoying the sailing sensations. But we also improved that by simplifying things. On the XS14, we decided to go for Garmin, because Garmin did offer all the same functionalities with less screens. So once again, how to simplify the user's life while improving the benefits for the final user. Another good example of this philosophy and simplification is the helm seat. Usually at XS we have this double helm seat, but we have something which is a stainless steel and folding in 4 pieces that you can just fold into 2 simple movements. So some examples of the philosophy we developed here on the XS14, and this is really something we did everywhere on board. The forward part of the boat really takes benefits of all the architectural choices. Having the mast deck step pushed us to move the whole coach roof and cockpit aft to the very transom of the boat. And this creates a huge forward space with very long and wide nets, with 2 wide decks, plenty of lounging and sunbathing space. You have the bowsprit, which is brand new, all composite, where you can of course attach either your Code Zero or Spinnaker, but also which holds the anchor chain and brings the anchors to the very front, so you can safely and easily anchor the boat without risk for the bows. And on this net we can also have some cushions, of course, and those cushions are quite smart because they are designed so they can be used either forward or onto the coach roof. We'll see that later on. To access the coach roof, we designed these brand new stairs with a very wide and low slope. As you can see, while on the coach roof, the boom is very low, so it makes storing the sail very easy. It's all at hand. We have a very sleek coach roof where we have plenty of space to put solar panels or just to have a rest. And we created this Sky Lounge option, which you can choose, which is perfectly sleek while sailing, but you can convert the Sky Lounge into an extra space, and you have both sun pads and aperitif area. The position of the cockpit, of the aft cockpit, located to the very transom of the boat, in between the steering stations, creates a real continuity between the helmsman and the people on board. So you have really easy access, and you are in touch with the people that maneuver the boat. In this very wide cockpit, there are dedicated areas. First of all, the dining area in L shape with a 6 people table, and that can even extend with an additional extension to the aft beam to accommodate up to 8 people easily. On to starboard, The fact that we decided to go for twin helms instead of a bulkhead helm station creates an additional space that we use for lounging space. Forward of the lounge is a big space with internal locker that can be converted into a drawer fridge. Aft of the cockpit is a very wide settee, taking the whole width of the boat, and this hides a very smart locker, which is all length, so you can easily store all the long stuff that you may have on board. The main impression while entering inside the XS14 is an impression of light and space. At XS, we used to use 100% clear glazing. Instead of all the rest of the Nautism, we use shaded glazing. We did this initially to improve the view from the helm station, but actually it really helps also inside because it gives a lot of light. With this impression of light, you have a choice of ambiances. You can have either wooden or white lacquered interior, so you can increase again the impression of light. You have choices of floorboards, so plenty of way you can arrange the inside ambience of your boat. The saloon is very wide, with plenty of storage underneath. Of course, gives a lot of settees and dining space, but it also offers an additional berth per standard. We usually have extras for additional berth. Here on the XS14, we offer the short leg, so you can drop the table down and you can use the backrest to create the additional cushions needed for an additional berth. In terms of chart table, we have this side chart table where you can, of course, store some settees while at the anchorage, but while sailing, you just need to draw this little drawer and you get a very good and solid chart table with storage for all the navigation stuff, plus a very large and practical storage here underneath, directly accessible from the galley or the saloon. Onto starboard, we have another storage area with a very large desk opening from above. On the galley side, we retrieve this typical XS galley design with grey furniture, grey countertops made of Korean, U-shaped, lots of storage, plenty of working area, 3-burner stove, 2 sinks. There is also a very nice feature here on the main entrance door. This door is 3 openings and you can slide them to create a direct access from the galley to the dining area without losing the proper passage towards the cockpit. Onto starboard, we will find all the cold volumes. We have this standard fridge here. Up front, we have either a very large storage area or a second fridge or 2-drawer fridge-freezer combination. On top of all those fridges, we will find a large countertop, a very smart sliding opening upper storage, which you can access very easily. So another very smart solution. So in this XS14 main saloon area, you will really find a lot of light, a lot of space, and plenty of smart solutions and lots of storage. Now, moving into the hulls, we have 3 different layouts available on the XS14. We have a 4-cabin version with 2 cabins, 2 heads, and 2 separate showers per hull. Or we have the classic 3-cabin owner version, or what we call the classic convertible owner version. This is the one we are on board today. So I propose we start with the portside hull, which is the same whichever the version. In the forward cabin of the XS14, we can see that our designers, they did manage to create a huge berth for a 4-cabin. It's very wide and it really offers a lot of space and light. The whole cabin is very lighty. We have clear glazing and very large glazing on the hull and on deck. Of course, you can darken the whole thing for sleeping to have complete blind curtains. And this cabin also offers a lot of storage. We have storage underneath the berth, which is very easily accessible. On the aft of the cabin, we can find lots of storage, a bottom one for shoes and with a desk for the berth, and a very deep hanging locker. In the aft cabin, port side, we find the same singularities as forward. That is lots of light, sea view, ventilation, lots of storage. We find the same very large storage underneath the berth. The main singularity is that we can access the bed from both sides. It's an island berth, hanging storages, plus closer cabinets. One very nice feature that we find in the aft head compartment is that our design office did manage to create one single big waste tank for the 2 head compartments. By doing so, they saved some space and of course, some complexity. So we could use this space to offer our client an additional locker here in the shower, which is a wet locker, where you can easily put things that need to dry. The arrangement we just saw onto port side is the same whatever the version. In this boat instead, we are in the 3-cabin version, where the starboard hull is dedicated to the owner. Aft of the hull, the very large berth for the owner, 1,60 m per 2 meters plus, large desk on the sides, hanging storage, of course, light ventilation and sea view for the owner. And forward of this sleeping area, we find a very wide and very long desk, which is ideal for the people who want to go offshore, but also want to keep a link with their work. A very large library, and onto the inner side of the hull, plenty of storage. Sliding door to completely isolate the owner's cabin, and storage volumes in here. Going forward in this hull, we find a very new arrangement. Usually on cats, the full forward part of the owner's hull is dedicated to the head compartment. On the inner side of the hull, we have this very large space for the owner, very nice and wide area. And onto the outer side of the hull, we have the isolated space with toilets and shower. This is the space where, of course, you want to be closed. And there is an additional hand sink, separate shower with plexiglass door. We created a walk-in dressing, a full-size walk-in dressing with lots of storage. Bottom storage, open ones, closed ones. On top of that, we do propose as an extra the possibility to convert this forward dressing into an additional berth. You just have to flip those leaves, free the mattresses, and the dressing is converted into an additional cabin. So this is something very valuable for the owner because it gives him a lot of flexibility into the use of this additional volume we created. As you can see, at XS, we do not really fear to challenge the rules, to try and have new ideas. We really try to reinvent the boating experience, both on board and around the boat. And in order to help us having those ideas and sharing those ideas, we developed an online platform which is called the XS Lab. It's a kind of a digital design office where you can join and share your ideas. We share our project and we invite you to comment them. So it's a fantastic site to try and have new ideas and break the rules. Please welcome to the XS Lab. And of course, I also welcome you here on board the XS14 for real. Come and join us, come and sail on board. You're more than welcome at XS.